Hello Midtown Nation, this is the Dark Knight. Welcome to the Batcave. So today, step 4 on our path to transcendence is getting in control and being cognizant of our emotional state and how it can affect us. So emotions they're hard to define. I mean, generally they're a complex state of feeling, whatever that means, that results in a physical or psychological and even physiological changes that influence our behavior. So these things can be very, very powerful. They can drive us to do great things. They can also crush us into depressing lows and make us never want to come out like the hikikomori. They can also, of course, when we have that love and lust, they can also, of course, arouse us into doing things that are completely lack any type of reason or rationality. And many times these type of emotions or these feelings of lust are triggered by, of course, women. And we know that if we go along with these, we can be used and abused. And women, as we know, are capable of taking advantage of us when we are in a very vulnerable state, because at this point our rationality and our reasoning has been completely thrown out the window. So our first step, our step 4 into our path to transcendence, is taking control, taking back control of our emotions, taking the emotions out of the driver's seat and putting our logic, reason, and rationality in the driver's seat. The emotions are simply a passenger. They're a co-pilot, not the pilot. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, it's being consciously aware of how things are making you feel. I mean, just think about why something makes you happy. You know, generally it's like, oh, I'm happy. Well, think about it. Just simply, why are you happy? I'm happy because I got a promotion at work. Okay, so logically you'd say, the reason I'm happy is because I got a promotion at work. Or I'm feeling sad today. Why are you feeling sad today? Did something happen? Is the weather off? You know, did you get a bad grade on a test? Did you not sleep very well? Did you get a sad call? Just think about logically, why are you feeling any type of emotion? Just think about what is the logical reason, what is the environmental stimuli that is making you feel this way. But also be aware that not every emotion you feel is, of course, based in logic, and not every emotion that you are feeling is actually rational or logical. And this means that just because you are feeling sad one day, well, do you have a reason to be sad, or are you just feeling sad? The key here is that emotions can lie. Too many people, myself included in the past, I would go, I'm feeling sad today, and I would just let that emotion run my whole day. Realize that just because you feel a certain way does not mean that that emotion has any validity at all. And ask yourself, why am I feeling this way, and should I be feeling this way? Do I have a valid reason to be feeling this way? So be consciously aware of what triggers these emotions, and also be aware if an emotion is in the driver's seat and is, say, messing up your whole day just because you feel off, right? Take back control, or just start to be consciously aware. Step 2, in being consciously aware of why things make you feel the way you feel, start writing down your triggers. So write down what makes you happy, sad, angry, etc. Just keep a running list in back of your pocket. A situation comes up. You respond to it. Okay, this situation made me feel happy because, and put on the reason on another line, right, on another bar. Okay, this situation made me feel angry because. And so you start to make a running list of what your triggers are. And this list, as you read it over and over and you start to write it, it will burn into your memory. And so you'll see what gets you riled up, or what gets you most emotionally aroused, and why. Now this next part, step 3, is the hardest. So you have to start to begin to train yourself to filter your emotion through logic before you act or before you feel a certain way in general. So what does this mean? So many women, I believe, filter their logic through their emotion. It goes emotion, then logic. I believe to be more effective, it is good to filter your emotion through your logic and then emotionally act. So how can you do this? Well, start by going through some of your memories. So most people, I would say, remember memories at first as emotional experience, and then the emotion they use will run that memory, and they assign emotion to the events, and then they perceive the sequence of events of what happened based on that emotion. Okay, so invert this. So remember a memory as a logical set of events. Take out the emotion. Okay, say your 5th birthday. Take out the emotion. Just remember it as a logical set of events. Then at the end of this memory, this sequence, assign an emotion to the memory based on what happened. Okay, so I had a 5th birthday. All my friends came over. We had a pool party, and then there was a clown, and then I got all my presents. From this sequence of events, and remember, try to remember small details. From this sequence of events, I felt very happy because it was a fun birthday. You see what I'm saying? Sequence of events, then you assign an emotion to that sequence of events. So the emotion does not drive your memory, the perception of that. Instead, the emotion is assigned to it after you remember whatever sequence of events you are remembering. Logic and reason, emotion is filtered through your logic and reason, not the other way around. So again, like anything, practice makes perfect. So first, test this out in your distant or your most recent memories. So test it out, then test it out in a controlled setting in the present. So let's try the internet, okay? So you're at home, you're on your computer. So watch videos on YouTube, say, that are going to emotionally arouse you. So in this case, watch a feminist video, right? This is going to arouse emotions of anger, rage, irritability, all that stuff. So watch a video that is going to emotionally arouse you. Now, I know this is going to be painful, so I'm saying a feminist video, this is going to arouse anger. You can watch another type of video that might arouse other feelings. But try to watch different types of videos to arouse different emotions in you, okay? So instead, for instance, of this feminist video, you're going to want to get angry and you're going to want to be enraged at the complete bullshit they're saying, right? So instead of immediately flying off the handle and letting emotion take over, this is going to take practice, ascertain what is happening in the video. Okay? Listen to what they're saying. Write down their points if that's what helps. And logically restrain yourself to not get angry, but instead use your rationality and reason. Okay? First, let the anger come second. First, use your rationality and reason, if you're going to get angry, to drive your anger. Okay? I am angry because she is saying that there is such a thing as a wage gap. I am angry because logically I can break that down. Not, I am angry because she's saying some feminist bullshit. Logically listen to what she's saying. Get angry for a logical reason. Okay? The logical reason is she is spreading falsehoods and you can logically break her down. Use rationality and reason, and your emotions, which are a co-pilot, can help drive that logic and reason. Now this is going to be really, really hard because you're going to have a physiological response to this, of this video, let's say this video getting you angry, arousing your emotions. So you're going to feel the blood rise to your skin, right? Your cheeks are going to flush, your breathing is going to increase. Your norepinephrine is going to be coursing through your body, going past your blood-brain barrier, activating your fight or flight reflexes. Your breathing's going to get heavier, right? And you're just going to start to, your fists might even ball up without you even knowing it. You're getting angry. But take this for what it is. It's a feeling, and in this case, it's anger. And it's okay to be feeling this. There's nothing wrong with that. But practice just realizing, okay, I'm angry. Again, why am I angry? I'm angry because I'm watching a feminist video that is spreading logical falsehoods, X, Y, and Z, and I can logically break that down. So you can separate your biochemistry, the biochemistry that is running you, or that is giving you these emotions right now, from what you put forth logically. Let the logic drive, let the emotion be the co-pilot. And again, when you're feeling angry off this video or happy or whatever, remember, just consciously think, I'm feeling happy or angry because X, Y, and Z, not I'm just feeling angry. Always question, just question why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Question what stimuli is doing that to you. This will help you be aware, and soon this will be habitual. You will just automatically know why you are feeling angry. Remember, we're trying to create a habit, a loop where your logic will filter your emotion and not the other way around. Remember, you're going to have to consciously do this, but soon it will be habitual and it will go to your subconscious. So you've tested this in a controlled setting in your memories, in your house, as well as on the internet. So now you're going to run into situations like this in the real world. And I'm focusing mainly on bad situations that make you angry, but it can be any type of situation. Good, bad, indifferent. So remember, every emotion you feel is due to a situation that is happening, is due to the stimuli that you are getting. When someone spreads some bullshit at work, you're going to want to get angry or irritable, and that's the first thing that your body is going to go to. You're going to have a physiological response. We need to not completely take control of those emotions, but realize that those emotions are rising to the surface and not necessarily blunt them, But before you say anything or do anything that you might regret, just think about what emotions you're feeling, and before you express them, at least filter them through your logic and say, okay, I'm going to be angry in this situation because, and weigh the pros and the cons. If you have an angry outburst at work, right, that could get you fired. If you call out a girl for doing something, blah, 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 what are the consequences of that? Remember, it's okay to express your emotions, but you have to be ready for the consequences. So, that's why I keep harping back on, let your emotion be filtered through your logic and reason. So in order to take control of your emotions, you're going to need to be able to modulate and modify them. So you can practice manipulating your emotions, and I've actually been doing this a lot with meditation, but also just with music. So for instance, this is an example I'm going to use, is listen to different types of music on your iPod and see how they affect you. So what do different songs, happy, sad, do to your mood, motivation, drive, etc.? So the thing is that these songs are going to modify your emotions, but again, remember, you're in control of this playlist, so this is one more step in taking control. So you're in control of the playlist. The music is just a catalyst for modifying how you feel. So you can use such things as music or driving or any other type of stimuli, anything you do to modify your emotions when needed. And think about the different types. I'm using music in this case, the different types of music that can modify you in certain ways. For me, for instance, it's instrumental music. That can just cause a surge of emotion like no other type of music. But it doesn't have to be music. It can be anything. Taking a walk can modify your mood. Looking at certain pictures of, things that inspire you can modify your mood. Really anything can modify your mood. You just have to figure out what can trigger these modifications in your mood, and you can use these mood modifiers to change your emotional state at will. And again, you can practice doing this, so then in time, you won't even need these mood modifiers. In a sense, you'll be able to just use your thoughts to modify your thinking and your emotional patterns. So on your path to transcendence, my biggest thing was getting over our addiction to females. So how do you handle your emotions when it comes to females? Well, you can start to use the tools above to separate, in this case for females, your biological drives or your biological emotions that makes us attracted to these females. So these biological emotions of being sexually attracted to them from our actual rational thoughts. So for instance, just because when we think, she's hot, it does not mean that you are in love or you even like her or you should pursue her. You're just in lust. Just remember that. Furthermore, remember, biochemically, when we come in front of an attractive woman, our cognitive abilities are compromised. And that's through no fault of our own. That's just biology running us, okay? Our logic and reason are going to be thrown out the door for sex, mate, impress her. Remember this. So you're going to be compromised when you're in front of her. At least be aware of that. Be aware that you will not be at your full cognitive rational abilities, and be aware of it. So start to take note of how you might act differently around her to maybe, you're trying to subconsciously impress her, or how you might say things differently, or as I said, act in a certain way to, win her favor. And again, this isn't me calling you out. It's totally okay. This is natural. As men, we all do this because our drive to mate will override our logic almost every day of the week, especially when we're younger. For instance, when you have an interaction with a female like this of your affections, right, and then you leave her, try to feel how your mind suddenly can turn on after you are no longer in front of her. Feel how you can think more clearly, that you're not thinking in a fog. And remember, this is like a drug-induced state, really. It's a biochemically drug-induced state of attraction. And so remember, you can build a tolerance to this drug. Okay, practice makes perfect. You can build a tolerance and you can take control of it. And so how do you take control, at least, without, waiting, 6 months and just trying to build up a tolerance to the drug? Well, you can take back control of your interactions with these females. Only interact with them, if ever, on your own terms. Furthermore, too many men, myself included, I used to do this, I would interact with a girl as long as she wanted to interact with me because I just didn't want the interaction, and I was like, oh my god, she's a pretty girl, I just want to keep talking to her. No, first take back control and force yourself, say if you have an interaction with them, to leave prematurely. Leave when you want. Say you have something you need to do, even if you don't. Just force yourself to leave. This is you taking back, at least in this case, control of your time. And if you make this habitual, remember, if you make this a habit, you will realize that you will start subconsciously putting yourself and your time above the interaction with her in hopes of, simply getting sex. Remember, but this isn't just about, getting over our addiction to women. This is taking emotional control can help us in all aspects of life. Emotions can be used, can be the huge driver of many, many things. The passion can drive someone to get up for work day in and day out and work at what they want to do. I'm passionate about what I do, and half the reason I get out of bed so early in the morning is because I really love what I do. So emotions can be a powerful, powerful motivator. But of course, they can also be manipulated by others, and they could really, really screw you up if you let them drive you. And so I am making the assertion that we should be logical beings, but we shouldn't just be completely logical beings. We can be emotional beings as long as our logic and our emotions can be in harmony with one another. They cannot just be two separate entities. As humans, we're going to be emotional whether we want to or not. So what I think we can do is to try to strike a healthy balance where there is crosstalk between our emotions and our logic, but I will still make the assertion that our logic, reason, and rationality should be in the driver's seat. The emotion can be there, but as a co-pilot. So I hope some of these tips will help you, on your journey to transcendence and help you take back control, because that's what this is all about. It's all about taking back control, in this case, of your mental faculties. Okay, once you can take back this control, when we can be in front of these pretty girls and not be, completely mystified by them and let them use, abuse, and manipulate us, when we can stop letting people walk all over us by, manipulating how we feel or guilting us, shaming us, blah, 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 blah. When we can do that, then we can truly, truly be the masters of our own ships, and we can start to be free. Not just in society, but mentally, logically, and emotionally. So again, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this helps. I hope you guys are going to come on this journey with me. And as always, let's keep this happening, going strong, boys.